What's up, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Ladies Who Bronche. I am Julissa.
What's good, everybody? This is Skittles.
And this week, we have an awesome guest. He hails from New York City. He's a dope dude. Vaughn, who the fuck are you?
I'm Vaughn. My name is not Vaughn.
We go through this all the time, though.
Yeah, so it's spelled Vaughn.
Vaughn.
So that's a
but
Vaughn.
Maybe I have an
Vaughn.
accent. Maybe I have an accent, you know? Vaughn. Bong. First of all, your name is Bong on my phone. Like
I'd rather you call me Bong.
Like Helado Bong, which is shout outs to
You know what you are on my phone?
What?
I like that. Because
he sings that song a lot. And so when Cardi came out with I Like It, literally, immediately, I was like, oh my God, they made a song for me and Vaughn. Like,
Vaughn.
They literally just made a song for us. Anyway, so Vaughn,
Shout out to Tito Neves.
Okay.
Vaughn, who the fuck are you? Tell us about yourself.
You know me. For those that don't know me, I'm a guy.
That's a good start.
You know, I got put in the oven a little bit, so I'm colored.
All right.
Okay.
Come on, melanin.
I'm a pretty well-rounded guy, native New Yorker. And, you know, I'm out here trying to live my best life now.
Yes.
Yes.
You know, getting my shit together.
Yes.
I'm a civil servant by day. I'm a heathen on Saturdays. And, you know,
On
just try to be as helpful as I can.
In church. You
Yeah.
spend Sundays in church?
No. I spend Sundays
Playing basketball.
playing ball,
Yeah.
you know, driving. You know, just doing different shit.
Regular ass.
Right. It's just like
Yeah,
a
well,
regular.
I don't know about regular, but, you know.
Well, Vaughn,
Okay.
where do you work? Tell us a little bit about, you're a really, really funny dude. So there's some projects that you hope to work on in the future. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, I would love to get my ideas out there. I am funny as fuck. Okay. I have some stuff that I've been working on, a lot of writing, but, you know, I got to stop procrastinating and just do. But, you know, I don't want to put too much out there in case someone with money that's able to facilitate certain things can just do it, steal my shit.
Right. Which happens.
So, Vaughn, what's your favorite brunch plate?
Margarita.
Brunch plate?
I go
Like
to brunch
food?
for the drinks. What are you? The fuck?
Oh, okay. All right.
I mean,
Your plate.
you eat food. You eat food at the brunch, but that's only so you can coat your stomach.
Well, 'cause,
Just
like,
drink more alcohol.
Usually people have like a go-to brunch dish. Like, I know if I'm going to Havana Cafe, I'm getting a combinación perfecto. And I'm also going to get...
Translation, please.
I know the meal that I'm
combination.
getting.
It's called the perfect combination.
Perfect
it's not
combination.
good.
Got
Yeah.
it. Well, I try to get something that's filling. Maybe something with a little bread
Like
because
French toast.
no.
Okay.
You know, it's huevos and shit.
Okay.
Do you stick on the like? Do you
Huevos
stick on
ranchero?
the like? The lunch side of brunch or the breakfast side of brunch?
Okay, we can say breakfast side of brunch. I frequent at a Mexican spot.
Oh.
Who put you onto?
Oh.
A lady friend.
Oh, shut the fuck up.
You're not gonna give Skittles credits
Come
for Lemon
on.
Jungle. Skittles is the king of.
Lemon
is, but-
Jungle. I am like the fucking. That
You are,
tiger
but
on
that's
the wall. That's me.
So you'll eat maybe some huevos rancheros, but margaritas are your go-to drink for sure.
smooth margaritas.
I
yes.
fuck with that too. Lemon Jungle makes really good margaritas.
Can we toast for smooth margaritas?
Yeah, smooth margaritas.
Boom.
So Vaughn, what was going out to eat like when you were growing up?
Well, what age are we talking?
I mean, when you were growing up, give me any age range, 5 to 10, 10 to 15, you know, teenage years. Like, what was it like?
All right, we'll start
when the
younger.
family would go out to eat.
So when we were younger, it was there's food in the house. So going out was very rare.
Right.
But once we did start going out, there was what was the Holy Grail? McFucking-Donald's. That was seen as gourmet to us.
Yo,
we got to go to McDonald's. You got food that was delicious, a nice cup of soda, and a fucking toy? Are you kidding me?
Word, the Happy Meal.
Food and toys.
Yeah.
And you could probably play in the jungle gym if you're visiting somewhere.
So, I remember McDonald's being a reward too.
Yeah.
That was definitely the pinnacle of fine dining.
Especially if it had a place in it.
And now, okay, imagine the way we go to McDonald's drunk. Imagine if they had a place for us to frolic and drunk as we wait for fries that we do not need to eat. That would be great if they can bring that back.
That would be hysterical. That would be great for Snapchat.
Yeah. So okay, so that was the younger age. So now give me the next chunk of time. What was going out to eat as you got a little older?
Okay, well, as I got a little older, I was out here in these streets, and I loved to just visit like random restaurants. Like I really would visit a random restaurant, see it, just eat, like go there, text like 10 friends, and the first one who would hit me back, I would invite them to come eat with me. Funny story. I went to this Vietnamese restaurant, and I did the whole thing with the 10 friends, and one of those friends was my younger brother, Julius. And I was like, yo, come eat, Vietnamese restaurant. He came through, and one thing I could say about my brother Julius is he's just always, he stays true to himself. He's a gangster. He's hood.
Yeah.
And shit. He's a little rough around the edges,
I love Julius.
Different strokes for different niggas. So we go to this restaurant, and he's like, yo, they got chicken wings and pork fried rice here? I'm like, it's a Vietnamese restaurant. Just, take a look at the whole menu. See what you like, yo. You never know. Like, just take a look at the menu. He's looking at me like, nah. I'm just like, hey, like, look at the menu. You don't have to pay for anything, whatever. So the guy comes, oh, you ready to take your order? That's a little insensitive. I'll just put the regular voice. Are you ready to take your order?
Thank you.
All right.
And I was like, oh, yeah, I'll have the whatever the fuck I got. And he's looking like, yo, y'all got chicken wings and pork fried rice? And the guy's looking at me like, hey, like, what's going on? Like, he was terrified. And my brother,
so
he was still flagging at the time and all that stuff,
Yeah.
He was,
Yeah.
And the guy was like, oh, I don't know. He was like, yo, y'all got to have it. Just make it. Like, make the chicken wings with the pork fried rice.
Oh my God.
He was like, oh, I don't. He was looking at the menu. I'm just like, I told him, sir, please, if you can, just take whatever chicken you have back there, fry it.
Right.
Take some rice, just fry it.
And what happened?
He
he did it?
I mean, yeah, it wasn't like a Chinese spot, but it was there in the Vietnamese rendition of chicken wings with pork fried rice.
What was Julius's reaction to it?
He scarfed it down. Like,
great. Whew. I just want to know how the story ends, He
was just hungry. Like, first of all, if you're in a Vietnamese restaurant, you still want chicken wings and pork fried rice. How sophisticated can your palate be?
Aw,
all right, listen.
He's no Gordon Ramsay.
I always fuck with chicken wings, all right?
Pork fried rice.
Yes, but if you go to a restaurant, you're not going to order that.
Chicken wings, but I understand wanting it, Like when I was younger, I used to go to like places and be like, oh, I want chicken with broccoli combination.
Yeah, but if I want an ice cream cone, I'm not going to be at the Apple store like, oh, give me ice cream. Like,
you learn later on, like maybe he just didn't know.
He was in his 20s already.
All right, let's get.
He's fine. He's doing fine.
But now so and now your palate has just evolved in a way where like you just like trying new shit and like eating out, like just going out as long as the meal's good.
Yes,
that's dope. What is your favorite bochinche topic to discuss while you're eating?
Translation, please.
What is your favorite gossip topic to discuss?
Oh, that's easy. NBA gossip, especially during the summer. That's the off season. Oh, where's LeBron gonna go? Oh, what's gonna happen? Who's gonna sign here? Oh, this one's talking about he has the flu and he doesn't want to be here anymore. And this one's talking about that one. This one ruptured his Achilles.
It's pretty serious. The NBA culture. I mean, sports culture in general. But like y'all really have this novela going on with each other.
I honestly don't understand it. But.
I mean. The whole LeBron. So LeBron signed with the Lakers. Carmelo Anthony right now is pretty much up in the air.
Yes. Well, Carmelo Anthony, we have to applaud that man for securing the bag. He had a $27 million player option, which he picked up because on the open market, he's probably worth less than that.
Wow.
So he picked up the option. The Thunder will most likely buy him out. And I don't know. Hopefully he doesn't chase behind LeBron. I mean, but yeah. That's basically what's going on. We'll see what happens.
Dope. Sports talk. I always get nostalgic about sports talk at a dinner table. It reminds me a lot of like my household and like when my dad would be watching TV and uncles were around and all that shit was going on. I love it.
Baseball?
Any sport. I mean, my dad's literally like will even talk to you about golf. Like my dad watches
one of those
all sports. Yeah, he just likes all sports.
Wimbledon.
Yeah, anything. Like literally, he's like an encyclopedia with sports. It's pretty awesome. But I have like this nostalgic memory of sitting around and like listening to all of the men talk about it, and it comforts me. Like I don't know if you've ever noticed, like you guys are hanging out and like talking about sports. I'm totally like invested, even though I don't know what the fuck.
No, I've noticed you gazing at us ever so softly.
It's like a magic moment.
Freaked me out, but I just kept it to myself. The whole, that was just an unspoken thing.
Well, it's just like I'm actually listening, but B, like I'm kind of like, oh, this is nice. I like this. This is familiar. Anyway, so let's go into our cheers to the ladies which is when we shout out people doing really, really dope shit.
Dope.
I want to start because let me tell you something. 4th of July, I'm sitting here and I'm just scrolling on the internet and all of a sudden I see woman climb Statue of Liberty. So I'm like, oh, what's this about? And I start watching the Facebook live feed. And I happened to roll in right around the time, like maybe 2 minutes before she sat down and crossed her legs and her arms. And she took the pose of that I Love New York meme where she's sitting on the bed with the sunglasses on and she has that petty face. Like literally in that moment. And it was the dopest thing to see live. Like I felt like, people watched when the rocket went to the moon and all that shit. I felt like I just witnessed a black woman just say fuck you to America by sitting her ass right down, crossing her arms and just sitting there like, chilling. What? Move me. I dare you. It was so incredible. And she had gotten arrested and she's been released now. And I believe she hails from the Congo.
Yes.
And she's
Patricia I don't want to
butcher the name, but
Patricia's her first name.
Yes, but
and in her speech she was like, Michelle Obama said, "When they go low, we go high," and I went as high as I could. I was like, "Fuck it up,
which was
sis."
Incredible. Yeah,
fuck it up, sis. Yeah. That was a moment,
and it was just really dope. Then Donald Trump, of course, said that if it was up to him, he would have like let her like jump. He would have like waited to watch until she jumped.
He said that.
Oh
God, right. Not shocking at all. Shocking at all. But he definitely said that. It was silly. But shout out to her and all beautiful black women who are out here and she's
fighting the good fight.
The good fight, and it was such a wonderful symbol.
Putting on for all of us.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Always. Black women always coming through.
All right, and the next cheers to the ladies who goes out to all of the ladies who are out on tour this summer. Of course, the first person I'm going to mention is Britney fucking Spears because she starts her tour actually this week, and she will be doing an exclusive intimate tour of Piece of Me, the show that was in Vegas. We also have Christina Aguilera, Beyonce and Jay-Z, the On the Run tour too. Nice. Yes. Janelle Monáe, Nicki Minaj, and Future are going on the Nicki Hendrix tour. And do you guys know of anybody else that I'm missing?
I actually don't. I'm so bad at keeping up with tours. Honestly, I don't know. I don't know who's going on tours.
I just know that these are all the people that I wish I had money to see. Like, I want to see all of these guys. And Brittany and Christina are actually doing smaller venues. They're doing Radio City Music Hall, which means that the cheapest ticket are like $400.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
no thanks.
yeah, they're literally
steep.
literally topped the Forbes list of like highest grossing tours, and there's only like 30 cities on it. Yeah, it's a very limited tour. Whatever. She's Britney Spears. She can do what she wants. The next cheers to the ladies who goes to us getting shit done. I know that last week you had your Me Too video with Kat Lazo.
Yes, that was such an awesome thing. So, the video
question.
Yes.
Sorry, what's a Me Too?
Me Too. So Me Too is the blog, the platform in which the Cat Call is sort of hosted at the moment. So Kat Lazo, shout out to Kat, who we went to LaGuardia High School with, is an awesome content creator. She's pretty, I'd say pretty famous actually.
Yeah.
And does these awesome videos which really dig into different topics in the Latino community, the Latinx community. And I wrote a video about fat shaming. So that was released this week. It got a really, really good response in terms of views. Interesting response in terms of what people's views were around fat shaming. Some people were like, oh, so you're encouraging people to be unhealthy and stay fat. And then other people were like, yeah, like this is the story of my life. I can't, everything in my life is always associated with my weight. I can't escape it. Like my weight, it has taken over my identity in the way that people treat me. And so it was interesting to see that sort of conversation back and forth. We did the Instagram live for the video, and we answered some questions and stuff. It's been really dope. And I'm glad that that's out. So
yes.
Yeah.
And by the time this episode comes out, my video will have been out already. But my video premieres tomorrow, and I'm excited for everybody to see it. It's called Latino. It is produced by Yarodi.
It's going to be dope.
Featuring Manny Miz and DJ FX, who all host Swag in the City on Wednesdays.
Check that shit out. It's so dope.
So go to Swag in the City and check them out.
Is this a music video?
Yes, it's a music video starring Cesa la Princesa. And yeah, I'm excited for that.
Dope.
It's going to be so awesome. Next, cheers to the ladies who... I'm saying it with this tone because I'm still a little weary, but there are going to be $10 million worth of renovations happening in parts of the Bronx. So it's a project that had gotten approved, and they had taken some time actually in figuring out how they wanted to zone it because they wanted to stretch it further north, but then they realized they can impact more if they kept the dollar amounts in concentrated places. So they're, renovating art centers, redoing theaters. There's money being put towards local business owners so that they can get a facelift on their businesses, things like that.
That's the part that I like.
Yeah. Oh, I love that part. And so this is going to be happening in the Melrose Yankee Stadium, Port Morris area. But but the one thing and the only reason I'm weary, all this shit is great. Like the Bronx has needed a facelift for a really long time. And I think that it's just kind of weird that it's happening right when a lot of these new luxury apartments that are coming up are like nearing opening and nearing they're like, you know what I mean? And it's like someone had pointed out to me like, oh, because I said I think it's kind of stupid if it's not going to serve the community, and they're like, how could that be stupid to do? And I'm like, well, it's stupid that while there are advocates that have been fighting for the Bronx to be sort of revitalized for years, that though this is a win for them, it's a win for them at the win of the bigger picture, right? You know what I mean? It's kind of like, yeah, now the motherfuckers who you've had to fight against to try to get money from for years, because now they're getting a different piece of a different pie, they're willing to cut you this piece of the pie that you've been entitled to always.
It's a proverbial Emancipation Proclamation, basically. It's, we're doing this that'll help you, but, it's serving our own purposes.
Yeah.
It just happens to help you too.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's just interesting to me because that area, there's already bars like Charlie's and like these little, like there's a coffee shop that I don't know what it's called, but I just see when I if I'm in an Uber over the Harlem Bridge, it says like coffee and like a really bright sign. And it's all
like a white wall.
Yes, it's very Williamsburg. All of it is very, very Williamsburg. And I'm just sort of like, and it's killing me because like I know we're gonna go have brunch there.
Yeah.
I know we're gonna like because it's our fucking borough and like yeah, but I've always been here, and so the need to have a good brunch spot and to do has always been here. Yeah. It is not new because of these new luxury apartments that I still can't afford to live in. Like, you know what I mean? Like it's a bit shitty, but I am happy to know that, you know, there are going to be, especially for the artistic institutions, that they're going to get a level of support that they need. But I don't know what that looks like. I don't know what the patrons and the board members are going to be of these like fucking thing. It's going to be these, I just feel like it's going to be white people who feel the Bronx is happening right now. And there's such an art scene and there's something really special in the Bronx that we're ready to explore and we're ready to fund because it's like a fucking fetish. I'm just not looking forward to it. And I do know it benefits the community and maybe I'm being a little cynical, but you know. We'll see.
Yeah.
Nowhere's safe.
Yeah.
They're gentrifying everywhere.
It sucks.
I've witnessed for the first time in history, the Upper West Side, I feel like is the first sign in history of the gentrification of a white neighborhood.
Say more on that.
The Upper West Side is very homely, you know, you see people dropping their kids off, like mostly families. So, you know, they're opening new cafes, little brunch spots. It's just looking a little more Upper East Side than it has. And that's just, it's pretty interesting to me.
And it's always been interesting to me, the idea of growing up in Amsterdam projects and being across the street from Lincoln Center, Juilliard Art, and LaGuardia Performing Arts High School. And it's almost like literally these structures block the projects. Like if you are driving over on the West Side Highway, there's a way in which the buildings, especially like those Trump Towers, block that you exist. And if I'm standing in Lincoln Center, I'm also I literally have to walk on the sides to see that there are these buildings there. It's always been so interesting to me how fucking projects with people who, you know, are in need of a lot of support are surrounded by this like immense amount of wealth. I don't know. I've always been curious. What was that like? Like, did you even notice that? Was that even a thing?
Well, you never notice anything when you're a child.
Yeah.
You just know that you want to have fun and you want something that has sugar in it.
Kids.
That's it. You give me $2. I'm going to play basketball all day. 50-cent cookies, the duplex ones, a little chocolate type, vanilla type. The clear 50-cent soda, the coconut flavor, Tropical Fantasy.
Ew,
shout out to them.
I hated that flavor.
You wanted the blue one?
No, but that was the sperm killer.
I didn't have...
The 50-cent sodas, the blue ones, those were the sperm killers. That's what kids would say. Y'all didn't hear about that? The nutties? Yeah. That's why they were called
Nutbusters,
nutties. Yeah, they were nutbusters.
Meanwhile, none of us were even physically able to nut. It didn't even matter. It was a moot point.
But yeah. So at what point did you realize? So that you've never realized that there's like a concentration of wealth that literally like...
Once I hit middle school. Because I went to... shout out to MS44, Science Museum School. You know, so there were a lot of kids. Most of the kids at that school were from the other side of the tracks. So I got, you know, an idea of, you know, children that didn't care. They didn't care about what type of sneakers you had on and different things like that. But, you know, they always, you know, they talked about doing different stuff. Some kid was going to the World Series and different things like that. You know,
and they were all white or?
Mostly, I mean, the school wasn't mostly white. There were black kids, Hispanic kids, but they were also from the other side of the tracks.
So higher wealth status?
It was somewhat of a mix, but not really. Like I was, as far as Amsterdam houses go, it was me and like only one other kid that made it into that school.
Wow.
And so that's when I became aware of being broke as fuck.
And what does it feel like now?
Oh, living, like being around that neighborhood?
Yeah, like living in Amsterdam. How has that experience shifted?
I mean, I feel lucky, honestly.
Yeah.
Because I can't afford to be in a luxury apartment. So what? It's a walk up or something? Either way, you're in a closet.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
especially in that neighborhood, the apartments are not big.
It's fine. And, driving along the West Side Highway and not being able to see it, I feel like it's good, actually. We're kind of sheltered. We're like a secret. We're like the Atlantis of housing projects. Like, people don't know we exist.
That's dope.
So I'll take it.
That's dope. All right, now let's get into our Tuta Loca, where we call motherfuckers out who are doing the most. Okay.
Now, listen.
Every day, white people. Listen, this whole trend of people calling the cops on black people for
just living their fucking lives.
Wait, does that happen in Amsterdam that goes unreported? Like, have you witnessed white people calling the cops on black people in your neighborhood at all? I'm just curious.
No, I think white people are mostly thankful that they're even able to walk through there safely. So you just going about your fucking business.
Yeah, so they know better.
Yeah, they know fucking better.
But this week, we had a couple of people. I want to start with Mr. Patriotic Chad, the cookout killer.
Can we put air quotes on patriotic?
Yeah. Well, yes, air quotes. Yeah, we can.
I'm a patriot.
Right.
We know what that means.
Chad, the cookout killer, and he's in Austin, Texas. Stepped into his neighbor's barbecue to let them know that it was not appropriate that they were playing Spanish music on the 4th of July. Like, it's, and
I wish a motherfucker would. Like, my Theo Jesus would come straight out with a shotgun. Like
who you
or
talking
machete.
to?
Like,
yeah, it's literally, and he said to them, you come to my country and do that on 4th of July? Like, oh my God. Like, he was just so, yeah.
Dig that sense of entitlement.
Yeah. And
like, how dare you come into my space?
Yeah, and then he said, this is 4th of July. You want to do that? Throw it in my face. Just wait, motherfucker. What kind of threat? Right? As he's wearing an American flag bandana on his head. Yeah, don't disrespect my fucking country. Like, literally.
Wow.
Yeah.
And meanwhile, you're technically not supposed to wear anything
a flag on your head.
Like,
that's all disrespectful.
But never
to
mind
the
that,
flag. Right. It's all disrespectful to the flag.
That's crazy.
Anyone listening, if you are Caucasian and you live in Austin, Texas, and you're like a well-rounded person, or you have some sense, you need to speak up. Because this man's making you guys look bad.
Yo,
honestly.
But you want to hear about his casual, like how he bounced back from it? He goes, sometimes I just wish they would assimilate more. I hear them playing music, Spanish music, in the backyard all the time, and it doesn't bother me. Because the day and what 4th of July means to me, I felt disrespected. I'm a very patriotic man. Unfortunately, I wasn't representative of a patriot. Just after a long day, the music hit me the wrong way. XOXO. Gossip Girl.
Fuck you, Chad.
That was his.
His name is Chad, yeah?
That was, no, wait,
Yeah.
Chad
Fuck
the cookout
you,
killer. Or so he was dubbed Chad the cookout killer.
Yeah, not all the names are like the actual person's name.
Yeah, so that was Chad's in Austin, Texas. And then, do you want to talk about
Pool Patrol Paul? Pool Patrol Paul had the nerve to go up to a black woman who was only there with her baby. Mm-hmm. She's at the neighborhood pool.
Oh, yeah.
The neighborhood pool, they have access to a pool, whatever. They all get a key card, whatever. Mm-hmm. There are certain rules that you got to follow. This man comes up to her because he does not believe that she's a resident and asks to see her ID. Now, nowhere does it say that she needs to show ID.
Right.
And, like, the signage out front.
Right.
And she's, like, showing him her key card. Like, I live here. I live here. Hello? And he kept on going, and he called the cops. And he called the cops because she wouldn't show her ID. And so then the video is of, like, the cops being like, yo, her key card works. Like,
yeah, like, what else do you need? What other,
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That shit's crazy.
Yeah, so that was Paul.
Yeah.
And then there was Pool Patrol Paula, all right, who called the cops on a black family because the black woman's husband was wearing white socks at the pool and because the baby wasn't wearing a pool-proof, like, diaper. Mind you, on the rules that she was also pointing to, the black woman who recorded her pointed out, it says that people need to be wearing, yes, proper swim gear, but also no hats. And in the pool are all her friends wearing their baseball caps. And she pointed out, and it's hard to tell from the video, but she was like, and some of them are wearing basketball shorts, not swim trunks. You know what I mean? And so it was just so ridiculous. And then the cops came and like mediated the situation. And the girl was like tried to act like when the cops came, like, no, well, I just think it was a misunderstanding, blah, 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 blah. And there's no misunderstanding, because when you watch the beginning of the video, she's like, fine, record me, like with her little. Anyway, so that was that.
Thing is like, continue.
Yeah, no. Yeah. You know, so then the black woman left because she was just so pissed. She was like, you've ruined my 4th of July. And then there was Supermarket Sally in fucking Cali. This white woman skips the line in front of an Arab American woman, and then says to her, so then the woman's like, yo, like, you know, like, what's up? Like, basically calls her out for the skipping. And the woman says to her, go back to your country. Right. And so that whole thing started, and they started going back and forth on that. And that's, I mean, and that I'm sure that there are plenty more that have happened. I mean, like before these, there were all the ones that we know, the barbecue Becky and all that shit.
The permit patty.
Yeah, there's been a lot.
Just being
There's
recorded
been a bunch.
now.
Yeah, there's been a bunch of them lately.
But that shit happens all. It's just being recorded now. Really, is the thing.
Listen,
Below the Mason-Dixon line.
Yo, people need to start recording that shit in New York, because it happens. I've witnessed shit like that before.
I just think that The Incredibles had an influence on Trump, and Trump made racist goggles that caused these white people to act crazy.
Honestly, I just think white people have always been this way.
I
feel like white people have always been this ridiculous. They've always been this ridiculous. And you know what? In our own backyard with our own people, we be ridiculous too sometimes, because I've heard and seen some really ridiculous shit from, you know, Hispanic people calling out black people shit like that.
But like not calling police on
people.
Oh,
no. I'm just saying, like, we all need to like actually take a moment right now, like in America, and like acknowledge that there's so much to uncover. Like, we've uncovered this part, and then once we fix the white problem, we then also have another layer of problem that we have to attack at the same time.
Right, because a racist Hispanic won't call police because they're getting painted with the same broad stroke.
Yeah, but I've witnessed Hispanic people call the cops on black people. Like, I'm not gonna sit here and say I haven't. Like,
really?
I've absolutely witnessed that. Yeah, Hispanic people can be very, very racist too. Obviously, like, you're talking about a marginalized group, shitting on another marginalized group, but it happens, and it's still fucked up. Like, it is very, very fucked up. Anyway. It's fucking crazy, and it's ridiculous that we have to deal with anybody calling the cops on anyone for just trying to live their best life.
I don't know why it's not honestly considered a mental disability.
Racism. Yeah.
Racism. If you're racist, you should complain to the government, because I think you should be eligible for fucking SSI check because something's wrong with you.
Yeah. Literally, there are people who can't even, like when they are so angry at, like, whatever they're witnessing. I mean, the lady with the permit patty was really, like, passionately upset that this girl was out.
The next Tuta Loca goes to Miss Azealia Banks. Now, Pretty AB seems to be turning over a new leaf recently when she wrote Miss Nicki Minaj a really long, heartfelt apology, saying that she would no longer come for Nicki Minaj because she sees that she's a hard worker, blah, 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 whatever. And then Nicki went on and co-signed Azealia in an interview recently, saying that she really liked Azalea's music. Cut to Nicki Minaj wearing a fin in the bed video, and Azealia Banks just doing what Azealia Banks does on Twitter, and saying, oh, she could keep her feature, you're not original, literally went off, on Nicki Minaj. Now, of course, Azealia Banks was the first person who did everything mermaid. And Nicki Minaj was like the Barbie or whatever. But was it really worth it?
I think that's ultimately what it comes down to for me.
Azealia Banks is out of pocket.
Yeah, it's
relax. You need to relax.
I just, I sort of dance the line between not liking when big name artists get away with like just taking ideas and looks and names and things like that.
That is something annoying.
Very annoying. Like it does frustrate me. I do think it's almost like she's so righteous. Azealia wouldn't be Azealia if she hadn't said anything. Honestly, like if we're being frank, like it wouldn't be the first time that even something that just slightly resembles something she's done that she'll come forward and like claim her art. But I feel like if people were on her side all the time and loved her, they would have reacted to this very differently. You know what I mean? Like, and people would have been about her like energy and being like, yeah, like fuck that, like it's her art, be original, blah, blah, blah. But a lot of people not liking her doesn't help her, which is where I sort of like then jump into
But why
Juan's
don't people
point.
like her though?
Right, because
this has overshadowed
Twitter
her talent. Because she
is
like she's really talented.
I feel like there are people who are very valid in not fucking with Azealia Banks. Like,
no, I don't, and I think that's valid for some people.
She has offended, and it's like very much a thing that like certain people just do not fuck with her, and that's okay.
Rightfully so, because she's done a lot.
All
she
her
is
music
talented.
is popping.
Whether you fuck with her
Which
or not.
for me is like I feel like I've said it's exhausting to like try and support this problematic fave because like I want to support her. I went to high school with this bitch. Like we bullied kids together in freshman year. Like I want her to succeed, but like at the same time, it's like it's exhausting because it's like, girl, you just like wrote this whole fucking apology. You got the cosign. The bitch is going on tour. You could have been fucking opening act, and then what else? Like you would have been on to bigger and better things. Like that cosign, as much of an ass kissing moment as it was, it seems like she was turning a new leaf, and that would lead her to be successfully liked by everyone, like, to win her audience back. Yeah. And so for me, it's like, you couldn't just let this one shit.
Like sometimes or like people,
or maybe not gone on a Twitter at one tweet. Yeah. One sarcastic tweet. Boom.
Yeah. Some people see stuff.
Make it a sub. I know Azealia doesn't like subs, but you don't make it a sub. Yeah. Because you know, like.
You know what? Honestly, I agree. I do think. I don't know. I feel like for me it was worse about her, like the way she was sort of like doing the kissing ass a little bit. And I don't want to call it kissing ass, but she was sort of coming forward and making it seem like she was ready to make amends, and then sort of going back on it. It was sort of like, you know, that's kid shit. Like I was kind of like, oh damn, I was not hoping that was the direction that was going to take. You know what I mean? But I am here for any artist in general claiming and like, you know, sort of putting their foot down about what was original for them and not letting it get swallowed.
So cut to a couple of weeks before the Nicki Minaj debacle, Azealia Banks called out RuPaul for copying her Big Big Beat song. So like if you listen to Big Big Beat and you listen to Call Me Mother by RuPaul, they sound basically identical. And so I remember like all the gays and all the drag queens were like up in arms because it was like, oh my God, how could she come for like God RuPaul? But honestly, listen to the songs. Like Big Big Beat came out a solid year before Call Me Mother. Are you fucking kidding me?
And it was bumping and people were playing it.
Yeah, and let me tell you, Big Big Beat is a good song, and I like Call Me Mother. I fuck with both of them. Right. But I don't think she was wrong in calling him out.
Yeah.
It's like the kid in class that's always been a troublemaker, but the one time where it's valid, it's too late because you already have a rep. Like, sometimes people get inspired and do stuff. Like, I'm a Nas fanatic. Okay, so Nas, Illmatic, you see the album cover, it's him when he's like 8 years old. Yeah. That's the first album cover where you see like a child picture. You look at Ready to Die.
Now everybody,
a kid on the picture. Yeah. Carter 3, like a baby Lil Wayne. Nothing Was the Same. You see like a baby Drake rendition.
Yeah,
like, people have copied Illmatic album cover
forever.
Never mind Nas's rhyme style. Like he rhymes like he's talking. Yeah. He changed Jay-Z from bibbity bop to bibbity bop to like Jay-Z. Yeah. Honestly, because the way people rapped when Illmatic came out, it shifted.
Yeah.
You never hear him talk about it.
No, it's true. It's true. And that's part of the reason why I'm sort of like, Yeah, you did it. You did do it. And like people will know that and let them say it for you. And let them say it for her.
Become such an icon. And this is Rebecca Loren's words. These are not my words. I was talking to my friend Rebecca about this. Become an icon so that your fans call it out.
Yeah,
for you. Grace Jones is Grace Jones. And everybody took from Grace Jones. But Grace Jones is Grace Jones.
She's immortalized.
Right. Yeah.
So Grace Jones doesn't have to say anything because everybody knows.
Azealia is talented enough to be in like to have that. Yeah.
Too. Like, the Prince sound.
Yeah. Yeah. Azealia is talented enough. And, she does have fans that ride for her really, really hard. I don't know. I think we'll see how this all pans out. But I'm excited. She has her shit out. Like, let's see. So, there were a couple of shootings again that I wanted to highlight. Just wanted to highlight the death. There was a man in Louisiana who got struck. A white teen struck a black man in Louisiana. And then in Snapchat later, it was released that he had then made a joke about it and called him a nigga in the snap. But that guy is getting away with it. He's not being charged with any crimes. So there's that one. And then
where did this happen?
Louisiana. Then a gentleman by the name of Jason Roche killed Devontae Ortiz, I believe 17 years old, for setting off fireworks. Jason claimed self-defense and told the police that he shot him after coming out for the second time early in the morning on July 4th when he asked him and his friends to stop doing fireworks. And that he said that he saw him reaching for a gun, which is why he shot at him. But in the video footage, it shows that there was no gun that he was reaching for or anything like that.
He's been charged, correct?
At this point, I'm not sure what the charges are, but
I believe it's like first, like they.
I'm not exactly sure if he's been, and I want to correct myself. Devontae is 19, not 17. But yeah, it is. I don't know whether or not he is. What he's being charged with. I don't know that they're there yet. It just happened on the 4th.
First degree murder.
First degree? Okay. First degree murder. And then this happened. So Catalina Christina James is now the 13th trans person murdered in 2018. And this happened on June 24th, but it took a while for the stories to sort of surface because when she was found, she was identified as a male, and so they weren't respecting her identity. So it took a while for it to get back that it was in fact Catalina who died, and she was only 24 years old, and she was found shot dead at a Quality Inn suite. And this is in Jacksonville, Florida. So that was really tragic to hear.
R.I.P.
Yeah, and she was supposed to be relocating to New York, actually, not like shortly after, to pursue her dreams, and that was ended very quickly. And God knows, more to come on that. There's not enough information out right now as to who it could have been, but. Just wanted to highlight that those things happen and it fucking sucks. And fuck this country with this shit. It just won't stop. It doesn't seem to stop. Hopping off of the United States and flying over to Haiti. Haiti is in protest right now. They're raising gas prices over 30%. On the island, I believe the figure is 36%. And the protesting is getting to the point where they had to cancel all the flights from the U.S. going over to Haiti. And people are burning tires in the street and sort of fighting. And so we'll get more developments on that. But that shit, Haiti, I always get really scared when there's something happening in Haiti because I just feel like the island is so fickle. And it being the first free Black nation has always been such a powerful title to hold, but that island, it's almost like the island's cursed. There's always something plaguing that island in a way that's really tragic. So hopefully that gets resolved soon. In other news, I'm going to fly over to Canada.
This is all over the place.
Where a hit musical featuring cotton-picking white people singing slave songs closed down after protests.
Oxymoron.
Right. So the musical was called like Slav, and it was a hit at the Canada's Montreal Jazz Festival, to the point where they had added 11 more shows, and the tickets were priced between $60 to $90. You have these white women up there singing like Negro spirituals and all this stuff, and then people protested, and then somebody who was working on the team had the nerve to be like, they were surprised at the reaction. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me?
Sometimes I wonder, like, is it up to us to, I don't know, just keep white people out of the dark with stuff like this? Like, are they truly just completely clueless? I mean, these women are Canadian, right? Maybe they didn't.
Nah, I can't give anyone a pass. I don't care where you're from. Like, slavery and black people, come on. You don't know better than that? I don't care. And there are black people in Canada. You know what I mean? Like, we're not talking about a country that is so deeply disconnected from the world. We're not talking about a little village somewhere in the middle of, or a mountain in Afghanistan. We are talking about Canada. You know what I mean? It's stupid and it shouldn't have happened, and like, fuck that shit. But, fly back to the U.S. and let's just go right over to fucking Hollywood, and we have fucking Scarlett Johansson.
Oh my God.
Playing a trans man in the new film Rub and Tug. For what? ¿Por qué? Like, it makes no sense. And then Megyn Kelly had the nerve to assemble a group of cis male actors to discuss, like whether or not like the outrage is valid or not. And then two of the motherfuckers were black. And I was so mad when I was watching it. And I was like, why we got these two black dudes up here, doing this? Like, first of all, why are you sitting on the Megyn Kelly show? Second of all, what could a straight man contribute to a conversation around, a trans man? Like, how could you even
transgender anything? Like, it
didn't make any sense to me. But just to recap, if you don't know for whatever reason, so everyone's up in arms because there should be no reason why a white cis woman should be playing a trans man. I don't know. What are your guys' thoughts on that? Maybe I'm the only one who thinks this is ridiculous.
She shouldn't play it?
She should not.
No.
Or maybe they could have picked someone else?
Like an actual trans man?
Yeah, they could have chose someone else.
So,
but, someone has to play devil's advocate. So I'm just going to do it.
Okay.
I know that there were certain people that were like, oh, well, maybe she wanted to challenge herself.
But
so many ways to challenge herself.
Someone presented a check to an actor.
Right. But an actor has a choice, and they can still align in their values. Somebody can write me a check and say, coon yourself out for X amount of dollars, and I can choose to say no because I'm not cooning myself out. If she actually understood the struggles of the trans community, and not to mention, because at first I was like, I don't know if I can name any trans male actors. That's what the internet's for. There are people, literally, so Elliot Fletcher on Shameless, trans man. Brian Michael Smith, Queen Sugar, trans man. Ellie, I don't want to butcher Ellie's last name, but they are on Rise on NBC. Also, Tom Phelan, who plays Cole on Foster's, also. Ian Harvey, who's a comedian, and he's an off-Broadway actor as well. He's currently on the show Log Cabin, also available. And when you look at the picture of the person who she's playing in the biopic, all of these trans men look way closer to the person than what Scarlett Johansson does.
Not to mention that the character that Scarlett Johansson was supposed to be playing was also fat. So now you're like...
Yeah.
Talking about erasure, of body type.
Yeah.
Valid.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me preface my statement with saying, perhaps they should have try to find a trans man.
Yeah, I mean, like, were they even invited to audition? Like, you know what I mean? Like, to me, it's like, if for whatever crazy reason you audition all these trans and not one has the acting chops to give the honor that you need for the character, then maybe, and I'm saying this as a devil advocate, you can make the argument.
So let's rule everything out, okay? Because most of the trans male actors you mentioned are part of a show, right?
Well, they're on.
So we'll have to take in consideration scheduling.
Oh, nope.
Look, no,
Movies,
whoa.
They can schedule around that stuff.
Okay, come on, let me finish. You got scheduling, right? Agencies you work for, perhaps.
Yeah.
Also, you have to think about, because, you know, people don't care about, these companies, they don't care about social issues. They care about box office draws. Scarlett Johansson is part of the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Yeah.
So she's going to put asses in the seats.
But if that's what it's about,
right or wrong,
then don't tell a trans story to make a profit if you're not going to include the trans community. They're not a dead society. They're not doing a Viking story or something like that. There are people who are literally living.
Yeah, it is. They
trans people
remember
exist.
the Gods of Egypt movie? All white people.
But this is my point. But is that...
That's just what Hollywood does.
But is that what we're going to do? Harvey Weinstein just used to fucking rape women. Like, that's just what would happen, right? But there's a moment, there's a reckoning that we're in where now it's
we can't compare culture vulture to rape. I mean,
listen, my point is practices can be pushed. And as we see, because it's still coming, people are still flying out like roaches from allegations. You know what I mean? Like, absolutely, we are in a time where it's not hidden. Like, you know what I mean? Maybe you want to talk to me 20 years ago, maybe it was more difficult to find trans actors because maybe people in the community weren't as comfortable. You know what I mean? Coming out. And quite frankly, there's a lot of trans people that you might meet every day and you don't know they're trans because they don't need to wear a sticker that says that. You know what I mean? So who were they inviting into that audition room, and how did it fucking end up being that Scarlett Johansson, and she just came out of a scandal where she played a character that should have been Asian. Like, she's one
point that supports your argument. It's not like she's Leo. Like, she's not a method. Great. Like, she's not a method actor. So I'll give points go to you.
I think, the more like,
so it's not about chops.
The fact that, like,
not in this case. Certainly
what's the point of if you're casting, I don't know. I mean,
why are you telling the trans story if you don't want to? If you want to just tell it your way, it's not your story to tell your way.
Is Sean Penn homosexual?
I actually don't know.
No,
I don't know, but I did like Milk.
Right. Okay. So then we can, and also, like, you know, Tom Hanks in Philadelphia, right?
You said it's Scarlett Johansson homosexual. I was like,
no. Sean Penn, he said. So, so we can make these arguments. Yes, right. So there are really great films that have had straight men playing gay men, or, you know, but even then, like, you know, maybe back then people weren't as, like, vocal or felt like they could say, and they had that sort of, like, well, this is Hollywood. But nowadays, I think someone can make that argument where it's like, oh, it's not necessary. You know what I mean? But, and this might, I want to make sure I say this properly. The trans experience is very different from the experience of being a gay male. They're not, it's not that there aren't so many things that are in common. Like, absolutely, they're both oppressed and mistreated, and, like, just, it's the way in which the world treats them is fucked. But there is, from my experience, even watching the way people engage trans people, like, I will see straight dudes sit in a group of gay guys and, like, be kind of okay with it. But the minute a trans person walks into the room, it's a moment of observation, and it becomes this dissecting of this, like, almost like they're looking at them as, like, a creature, and they can't understand, and that's gross, and how could this, and I'd never chop my dick off, and it becomes like this, like, different, it becomes this different attack than when a gay male walks into the room, let's say.
I mean, because,
you know, I'm just saying I think the trans experience is special enough.
Well, it is.
That, there's a time, especially when I just named, like, the 13th person to be killed, and it's definitely because of their identity. Yeah, now is a time where we don't have room to be casting Sean Penn to play the trans person, or Jared Leto at that. Like, that didn't need to happen at that moment either. But then this year in the Oscars, we had that wonderful film. I forgot what country it was from, but they had a trans woman play her role, and she won. Like, they won the Oscar for Best Foreign Film. Like, that was awesome. That was an awesome moment because people can tell their own stories now. Even Transparent. You know what I mean? Like, when dude won the award, he was like, oh, and I hope I'm the last straight male to win an award for playing a trans person. It's time. There's so many actors out there. I've had the fucking privilege of working with some of these actors myself. There's so many. There's no reason for us to try to fill people in anymore. And they're talented too. So I don't know. That's just my take on that. I understand your devil's advocate, but
I mean, it's valid.
Yeah.
I mean, who are we kidding?
Yeah. So, anywho, another tuta loca, the last one. So only 65% of millennial women orgasm during sex. Only 65. That's actually crazy. And so this is a study that was released last year, and it was the Eve Appeal, which is a gynecological cancer research charity, and so they did the research, and another thing that they discovered is that half of the men that they surveyed couldn't identify a vagina on the diagram.
Fake news.
Half of the men. Nope. Not fake news. And it's so interesting to me because I've been going on dates recently. So, I've been having sex, and I've been finding that like different guys, I'm like, yo, I feel like this dude doesn't he doesn't know the vagina. Like, he's a little lost on me down there. I don't get it. It's not that hidden. Like, you just gotta part the fucking lips a little bit and it's all there. Like, it's all in your face. How could you not know?
What do you mean?
I feel like guys
like, how do you not know where a girl's clit is? That doesn't make sense to me when guys don't know how to find a clit. That doesn't make sense to me.
Well, maybe it's hard if you got a 22.
I feel like there's never a moment where a girl is like, I'm gonna show you the anatomy, and then, I mean, in my understanding of like heterosexual
sex, you mean there's not a moment where we say, okay, like, sir,
when you
let's
were 13,
give you the tour.
Most people our age have like lost their virginity in their teens, right? When you were a teenager, did you really stop and say, Jose, this is
I wasn't a teenager when I was fucking Jose.
Oh, well, okay, but I'm saying I
understand.
You with guys,
except I did. Because I'm me, though. So but I understand the point.
But I don't think that a lot of girls do that.
No, okay. Now we're talking about
the
sex.
girls. The girls need to.
Did you use scientific terms too?
Maybe girls need to own their vagina and like be like, yo,
Excuse me. Here we go.
You know what? Maybe women should take ownership.
But I get it because I understand that awkwardness of you not wanting to say something.
Maybe because women definitely aren't taking ownership. Also, why would Brian McKnight feel bold enough to come out with a song talking about he gonna show you how your pussy works?
But also on the flip side, like, guys don't show girls how to suck dick, right? Do they?
Listen,
we coach.
I have a couple things.
We coach.
Okay.
As the person with the pussy at the table, I have a couple things. So, one, women in general are not encouraged to even learn their own vaginas, let alone be able to guide another dude. There is so much ick around pussy in general, especially when you're growing up and not touching it and not doing stuff. It's almost as though they train you not to touch it because the fear of you even slightly rubbing your hand over your clit and realizing that sensation is scary because that's what opens your legs and then you become, like a hot twat. And nobody wants their kid to be a hot twat, right? So then like there's literally like even the idea of the chastity belt, like fucking metal, steel to keep you away from your fucking pussy. So imagine being a woman and laying down and like, how do I even direct if I don't even know myself what all my pleasure points are? But you, gentlemen, and not all men do this, I'm not, but you as in the capital U, like, will come in here and the assumption is the way society has it set up is that you are going to take care of this. I just need to lay back and you're about to just like own this pussy and teach me how my body works, right?
I don't want no limp noodle.
No, I'm not talking about limp noodle, but you know what I'm saying? The way in which sex is projected, it's like the man is going to lay it down and the man is going to do this. And if the man is getting his dick sucked and if the man is getting the shit, I'm going to bend you over. I'm going to do this. He's the one doing the everything, right? So the idea that they come with so much power of who they are and what they're gonna do, and you can't even find a fucking vagina on the chart, fuck out of here. Like, strip me, run me your fucking masculinity points right the fuck now. Run them. Run them.
I don't know.
That can't be what's really going on.
Bro, dudes don't know. And dudes will, oh man, when guys are used to fucking a certain type of girl, and then they fuck a different type of girl and their pussy looks different, oh my God. Then I've been asked as a female by my like male friends before, like, oh, her pussy did this. Is that normal? Oh, is this normal? All these normal ass things. Oh, but like her clit is floppy. Like, oh, but her clit is super tight. Like, I only like tight pussy. And then porn has also like fucked up the perception.
I'm embarrassed.
And even porn has really fucked up the perception of pussy
I can see that.
because my pussy does not look like the bitches. Me and what's her name? Mia Khalifa. What's her name? That girl. Some porn star. She's hot. Her pussy and mine do not look alike at all. You know what I mean? If you was trying to fuck me and you thought you was about to get some Khalifa pussy, you was wrong. That is not what it looks like. Doesn't mean it's not good. You know what I mean? It doesn't mean it's not, but like it's gonna get the job done. But if a dude sees that for the first time, already his brain is almost like preset to be like, oh, this is not as sexy, or this is weird, or this is fat. Like, it's fucking ridiculous.
I don't know, man.
It's ridiculous.
Some guys
so
are
we
used
have
to dealing
like a
with
couple
45.
of things that we need to cover. Like, first off, the education system needs to add in the female anatomy to the curriculum. Secondly, women need to take control of the situation instead of sitting back and allowing the whack sex to happen.
Or
speak up.
Or also men can take a moment and
Can you let me get to the third point?
Just saying,
can you let me get to the third
go
point?
for
All
it.
right. So, secondly, women need to speak up and stop letting the whack sex happen. Like, literally speak up and say, yo, you're not doing this right. And then the third point is guys need to fucking, like, educate themselves, period, point blank. Like,
absolutely.
if you want your game to be on point, educate yourself. Because you might be walking around thinking that you're doing a great job, and girls are walking around talking about, yo, he's whacking bad.
But we're in an age where people don't really communicate. Like,
and
people have infatuations not with other people, but with with another person's projection of themselves. They're falling in love with what they see on a phone. No one's really like straight men. There's a lot of straight men out here, to me, that just don't like women. They like pussy, but they don't like women. So there's no connection. Like, there's no desire to learn or like to get it right. To please a partner. Like, it's just about it's completely selfish. To me. So I think men have to own that. Ladies, you need to know how your pussy works. And you know what?
Too. And you do, but and we can go on and on. I'll have to nip this for now, but like, there is a way in which the Aziz story is a great example of how in the moment, sometimes the way in which we can try to come out and say it are like small and soft, because it's an awkward, sensitive moment when it's sort of like, I want this thing, but I want it a certain way, or I don't want it at this moment. You know what I mean? Give me really some time. Touchy. It's a very touchy thing, because there is this big fear about how men react, and men almost and again, not all men, but walk in with the expectation of like, well, you know how this goes, because society has taught it to us so many times over and over again that when you go off script, you know what I mean? There's consequences to that. And some nights you're just like not confident enough to own those consequences. And some nights you are, or in some nights it's a retroactive conversation, and you go back and you say, hey, like, what's up with our sex? Like, what's up with this? And you try to have a conversation. And even then it's like why are we having this conversation? And there's like an offense that can come about. I don't know. I just think 65% of millennial women orgasming during sex, clearly that's a problem. So
I feel like there's money to be made in someone.
There are many women out here waiting.
Let me the vagina, ladies.
Like, just to get those orgasms. All right. So our topic for today. Sorry to bother you. It is an incredible movie. It's excellent. Everybody has to watch the shit.
Haven't seen it yet. Definitely gonna watch it.
If you liked Get Out, it's required that you watch this movie. Like, you can't have one without the other and have your library. I kind of love this explosion in Hollywood now, where I feel like there's a renaissance of black film that's coming back. The way you had like the renaissance of films, like Eddie Murphy films, were like a block of like black, you know, excellence, and then movies that are like Juice and shit like that, like, you know, Boys in the Hood had its like little bracket of excellence. This genre of like comedy but still sort of like thriller-y, I think is sort of emerging in a way that's really nice, and I'm glad to see that, you know, not too long after Get Out, we got our second one. Also with some wokeness. Cool. Yeah. Oh, we have a lot of woke. Actually, when I was watching the previews, there was also the preview for the one that's based off the book, and it's the young girl, and she's with her friend, and he gets shot down by the police, and then the whole town gets together and rallies and protests. Well, there's a movie coming out. You guys probably haven't seen the preview, and I can't remember the name now. But so there's a movie coming out with that. The girl who plays Rue from Hunger Games is in it. And then there is the Trayvon Martin documentary that Jay-Z produced. Like, so we are getting our shit out here. Yeah, we're definitely getting our shit out here. And it's great. So sorry to bother you, but the main point of the movie, and this doesn't really give anything away because it's in the preview. So we watch our black lead get a job at a call center, right? And so it speaks to work culture and being a black person in work culture and using your white voice at work. Yeah.
Do you guys have white voices?
Absolutely.
Hi.
Can we hear it?
Hi.
How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm well, thank you.
I feel like
I probably have a white voice too.
You do. I've heard your white voice. My white voice is kind of a part of me, though. You know what I mean? Like, there are moments where it comes out. It's just like there are bonds over here laughing. Because sometimes when I'll say something and I'll get mad and I'll be like, whatever, fuck you, nigga. And then he'll be like,
sounds forced.
And then he'll say, you know what I mean? Like, he won't let go. He won't let me slide with my like white voice. But yeah, absolutely.
Sounds forced.
But I've always had a white voice. They used to call me white girl in middle school. I used to get teased for sounding like this.
What's a white voice though?
It's really like we use white to be synonymous with educated and proper, which is totally fucked, but it's something that's been internalized and taught to us. But the movie does a wonderful job of showing how actually like that's almost like what's expected. Like if you are going to be a person of color in a different socioeconomic circle that is mostly white, you better have your white voice on deck. Because when you don't have your white voice on deck, you're just their joke. Like they laugh with you. Like when Cardi B was in SNL.
How'd you say that like that?
Yes. When Cardi B was in SNL, there was a skit I did not like actually that she did where one of the actresses was like, oh, she was like acting like Cardi B, like because every time she listens to her music, she's inspired to like curse people out and tell them like suck my pussy and whatever. And so she was doing it, and it was kind of like mocking. It felt more like mocking than like honoring. But in their case, it was just like, we just think you're so cool and badass, Cardi. Like that's so awesome. And so either you assimilate with your white voice or you're Cardi B, and then they're gonna like.
I don't know if you guys heard of the comedian Godfrey.
Yes.
He did not to plug anyone, but he did an interview on Vlad TV, and they were talking about white supremacy. He renamed it white mediocrity, because that's basically what it is. Like they don't want us to be too cool, or too athletic, or too smart. Like they just want us. Not everyone. I don't want to paint all white people with a broad stroke.
But we know.
Yeah,
it's the perpetual cycle of
hundreds of years of evidence.
Yeah.
Of this.
Yeah. And it's just so interesting. So I've always had a white voice, but when do you but sometimes I lose it. But
say the N-word once.
Stop. We're not doing that. I've said it already several times.
Just say it.
I've already said it several times, and people will hear it, and whatever. It's how it sounds. But how do you use your white voice in the workplace? When do you most use your white voice in the workplace?
Me?
Yeah.
Well, I work for the city of New York, and I never use my white voice.
Why not?
I've caught flack for it actually, because I work at a call center, and all the calls are.
Oh, you got to see this movie then.
Recorded for quality assurance and training purposes.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know. I just like to, I'm just me wherever I go. So it is what it is. Maybe something's wrong with me. I don't know, but I just don't use my white voice. Even when
nothing's wrong with you. We shouldn't have a white voice. Like,
I know, but
yeah.
I mean, you gotta get in where you fit in sometimes.
Yeah.
And then my workplace, the workplace is mostly black. But the blue bloods will come. When you see white people, something's going on at my job. And they'll come to me and talk. I'm like, because they want to see and troubleshoot. And I just, first of all, number one, I have a problem with authority. Number two, I don't give a fuck. Right. So, people, somebody will ask me something like, oh, what's going on with the system? It's like, hey, sir, the system's bullshit. I'm trying to do this and that, and the supervisor's just like, oh, but.
It's bullshit. Yeah.
It's bullshit. So I'm just going to say it's bullshit. Let's talk about it. Let's have a dialogue. Okay. Backpack Jimmy. Let's see how we can fix this. So I'm not going to try to sound like you. I already don't look like you. So let's just level with each other.
Yeah.
Motherfucker.
Yeah. No, for real. And for me, like, cause I manage WeWork Harlem, and I can tell sometimes when like people from the neighborhood are coming into the building, and cause I don't dress fancy. Like I don't try to look like business casual or anything. I will wear whatever the fuck I roll out of bed into. And when I start talking, like this, I see them give me the look, and sometimes I get attitude. I get attitude from people that are like,
they think it's forced.
This bitch, exactly. They think it's forced, and they're like, uh-oh, here she is. They think I'm gonna bring them Becky problems because I have a Becky voice. And then when I'm actually very kind and I treat them with all the love and respect that they absolutely deserve, they're taken aback. It's almost kind of fun for me sometimes, especially I have this one member that has clients that comes in all day for appointments. And sometimes like that's where the real hood ass bitches be coming in through, and they come in and they'll be signing in on the Welkio thing with their long ass nails and and they'll be like, excuse me, like, help me. I don't know how to do this. What is this? And I'll say, oh yeah, you can just hit sign in here. And then you're going to just take out your ID card and you'll flip out why I gotta do it? Oh, no worries. It's just part of our security. And the more I like keep in that voice, it like aggravates them. It's almost like they think I'm taunting them with the voice, and it's just me talking like how I always sound. And it's very interesting to see how white voice manifests itself in a setting that's majority black. But when I go to my WeWork meetings, and oh my God, if I got out of this voice, they would notice. Like it. And they might think that I'm making a joke. And sometimes I do. Sometimes I'm like, yeah, nah, I don't know. I don't really understand. I feel like when I'm in my most comfortable, like, hood voice, I, like, go down an octave.
Hood voice?
When I'm not on. Like, sometimes, like, Lucy Thurber, every time I talk to her, and I'll be, like, in a certain voice, she'll be like, are you at work right now? She can tell. Like, she can tell. Because my voice is like really high, and I just stay in this place, and it doesn't matter what I'm talking about. I'm going to stay in this place. And even if you had me talking about dick, like I talk about dick in this tone, and I wouldn't get out of it. As opposed to me being like, yo, I suck some dick, and that shit is like, like I won't do that. Like my voice will not vary in that way, if that makes sense. Okay,
I can hear
it. But what about for you as a teacher?
Well, I teach in the South Bronx, so I don't code switch with students unless I am trying to assert authority. If I'm joking around or like just being normal and stuff like that, I try to like really be normal with them because they they listen to me more and they like relate to it more. But the moment that somebody steps over the line of thinking that they're my friend and not my student, that's when I'm like,
and you bring that,
and I bring it on. Or when I'm talking to like parents who are old enough to be my parents, because they're like, who is this child teaching my child? You know. So when I'm talking to like people that need to think that I'm like more mature, I do that.
It's interesting.
But not with the kids. Like the kids, I
You can't win if you're like that with the kids. I
No,
never used my white voice with my kids.
Some of that stuff is second nature.
Yeah. It's internal.
I feel like I was taught that. That's how my teachers were, or at least the cool teachers that I liked.
Yeah.
Like, that code switch was when you were in trouble, like, or when you really needed to pay attention. And
that code switch would really, when I finally realized the circumstances in which I was being oppressed, every time I got you're so well spoken, you're so articulate, that shit bothered me. And there was like a long period of time where I was like, how can I undo my white voice? Like, how can I, like, I was like, nigga, like, bitch. Like, I was like trying so hard to like get into my like Bronx hood voice because I despised how white I sounded. Like, it made me sick to be praised so much just because I sound like this. It felt disrespectful, you know? And so it really got to, for me now, it's gotten to the point where people compliment me that way. And I either go, oh, well, I mean, as well spoken as Cardi B or anyone else who just, you know, it's just I speak this way. Everybody speaks a certain way. I don't let it slide anymore, but I can't say if I was in a room with someone of high authority. Like, if I was in a room, Obama can't. I can't say Obama because he's black. But let's say Bill Clinton, right? You know, I shouldn't pick a politician because I would
correct.
He
probably just wants you to suck his dick.
But if I was in a room with somebody, like, I don't know, of certain status, and they were like, oh, wow, you're really well spoken, I don't know that I would quickly, like correct them because my brain is already up in that octave because I already think I have to speak a certain way. So it's so weird how you still have to sort of train that. But what his white, and I don't want to give away the film, but you have to watch the way the white voice functions in this film. And it is so incredible. I mean, watch it. Just absolutely watch it. But the white voice is a thing. The white voice is a thing. People have it. I've gotten so many privileges because it comes so, quote unquote, natural. To
plug a little Friends content, Julissa Calderon from Pero Like made a code switching video. It's literally like a minute long and it's hilarious. Yeah. But you see her go from, you know, Latina to like flirty to Dominican to black and then like to white. And like, it's when you hear the white one, it's really like, oh shit. Like, it's like, yes. Like, yeah. I understand this because, I mean, it's a good video all around. You should just watch it. It's funny. Yeah. She's good.
Word. All right, so now we're going to cut into our Dame Luz, which Dame Luz means give me light. And this is when you will talk to us or give us some light on a topic that we might be curious about. So, and this will sort of go back to our men not understanding vagina thing. I want some insight from your perspective on preference, and can sexual preferences be racist? So growing up, I'll lead this by saying, growing up, I remember having a lot of shame around my pussy because it wasn't like super pink and light skin and
roast
like
beef.
You know what I mean? I hate you.
I will never look at roast beef.
Sure.
Again. Like,
maybe something like that. But like, I knew it looked different, you know? And like, even in my skin tone, like I'm a little darker than my mom. I'm darker than my sister. So I was like the darkest girl in the house. And I would always feel like, damn, like my pussy is really ugly because it's dark. And like certain parts of it are darker than like my arm. And so like, if you were to see that, it's like, like, why is that dark? And I never understood. And I was like, is it because it doesn't get any light? That doesn't make sense. It can't tan. It's in the, like, I would spend hours trying to figure out why my pussy looked the way it looked. And I remember when girls in high school were already having sex, all the girls who were having like the most sex
had a gap in between their legs. I remember that being a thing.
That was a thing. That was a thing. And there were a lot of girls who had that gap. But like they were all white, and I didn't have to see their pussy, but I knew that it was like pink and probably like, and in my assumption, because I didn't.
Oh, that was in high school.
Yes, like you know.
Damn, Bronx middle school shit.
I mean, like people were losing their virginity in middle school, but I wasn't in the mindset where I wanted to lose my virginity. In high school, that switched, and I did want to lose my virginity. But all the girls I knew had pretty pink pussies. you know, and like I just knew that was the case. And then my assumption was like, oh, but you know, and then there's black girls, but I can't imagine that theirs is darker, like because their skin is darker than, if some of their skin is darker than mine, it just melds perfectly. So they're just as beautiful as the white girl because it's all one tone and I'm two-toned, right? And so I had this like really weird thing about it. And I also had not seen dicks, because had I seen a few dicks, I would have seen that men are two-toned with their dicks sometimes.
Yes.
But anyway, I say all that to say I was taught and internalized the fact that my pussy was ugly and not pretty, and that it was my skin, and that it was okay for guys not to prefer that because I understood because it was ugly, right? But is that not racist when guys do that? Because they do. A lot.
And this happens in the gay community a lot as well.
So give me some light on that.
So in the gay community, like if you were to be on like a dating site or whatever, you see a lot of guys that is like no fats, no femmes, no Asians, no blacks, like literally just like listing no fats, no femmes, no this, no this.
I've been to some gay friendly bars, and I've noticed the segregation. Like it's very weird. And I just don't understand because... You know, and I agree, like, a lot of the argument is always, well, it's my preference. Like, I can't help my preference. Yeah, but even just socially, like...
Yeah.
They like, stay... It's almost like prison. Like, it's weird.
And, no, definitely. And when it comes to, like, dating sites and stuff like that, like, all right, you said on your profile... I'm here to make friends. I'm here to this. And if we get to that level, then we'll see what happens. If we do, this is my preference. But why are you not even like entertaining a conversation with me if I greet you then? Like if I say, hey, what's up?
Right.
You're not even going to give me the time of day because I'm the wrong color or I'm the wrong size, pant size.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So it's something. That is something.
So is there, like, for me, I always wonder, like, is there this unspoken rule with dudes, with straight men, where there is a pussy standard that is, like, what everyone wants? And is that pussy standard, if you imagine that in your head, does that include black women?
First of all, let me preface my statement by saying inside it's all pink.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. I can. Yes, my pussy is pink inside, but
baby,
look, as long like I would just like for you not to have 100,000 miles
on what?
Wow.
On your vagina.
But how would you get 100,000 miles on your vagina?
How do you tell that?
And
mileage?
Yeah.
How do you tell
mileage?
That's
pussy mileage.
But how can you tell pussy mileage? Like, how would you know?
You can tell.
How?
Well, because some girls who haven't been around the block, like they're folding their arms at you. They're like, oh, like, where you think you going? Some girls are like, oh, like, maybe. And some girls are just like, like, how are you doing?
So that means, how do you know? What if that girl's just a freak, but she doesn't have a lot of quote unquote miles on her? How do you know? Like, can you feel it? That's basically what I'm asking.
Can you
like,
feel mileage?
Can you feel mileage when you fuck a pussy?
What if the person is just naturally looser?
Which is a thing.
Oh, wide mouth vaginas.
Well, not even just the wide mouth. Well, first of all, labias and all. There's like a whole like chart, but literally, like when you are inside of a woman, like can you tell their mileage when you're inside of them, or like does pussy even feel that different from pussy to pussy?
Yes.
It does? Okay. That's a genuine question. I have zero.
You are talking to people who have not done that.
So.
I'm just trying to be careful what I say.
Well, I mean, part of the conversation is to try to understand what are the hidden things that we assume or don't know. Like, I'm genuinely asking, and not in a judgmental way, but that is a thing. Like, I grew up being afraid that if I had too much sex, that I was going to have a loose pussy and nobody was going to fuck me after that. Like, that was a genuine fear.
I mean, you'll always get, whatever.
You'll always get
if you can have a child.
Right.
Then you can snap it back.
Up. Right. And so someone who's given birth. Take a bath,
pour a little vinegar in the tub.
Someone who's given birth and someone who has just had sex. I'm not just going to say a virgin, but like someone who has sex regularly and someone who gave birth. Do you feel a difference in the canal? Mm-hmm. Is it a huge difference?
Oh, well, I'm girthy, so, but,
Okay, Daddy.
So for you, not so much.
You can feel it though. It's more of, some women take a little more work. And typically women who haven't had children versus women who have, it, takes a little more work. That's all.
When women have had children, it takes more work. Is what you're saying?
Yes. So when you put
for you to come because it's not as tight. Is
no,
that what you're
not
saying?
to come, just to
get in.
Yeah.
Really?
Even with arousal, saying like assuming both women are fully aroused.
Right.
We got secretions going and shit. All that shit.
Right.
All that assumed. There's a difference.
Huh. Interesting.
In my experience.
And is it the same with condoms? Like, is there a drastic difference feeling between condom and no condom for you guys? I know what it feels like for me.
Is that?
No, how big is the difference? I'm curious
huge.
how big. It's huge? Okay.
Yes.
I just always wondered.
That's how a guy, a man, any guy that tells you he didn't know that the condom broke is lying.
The truth be told.
Is lying.
You heard it here, ladies who brunch.
Am I breaking bro code?
I don't think so.
Shut the fuck up.
I don't think so.
Says the woman, right?
I don't think so.
But yeah, every time a
also
condom.
don't speak for all.
Right, I'm speaking for myself. So, anytime a condom breaks, I know because I'm like, whoa, this feels too good. So I pull out and I'm like, oh, it's just that stupid ring. And everything else is
gone.
Obliterated. But yeah, a guy always knows.
But you didn't answer my initial question, which was...
You're good. You're good.
Is it racist?
You're good.
Not even is it racist. If you think of the pinnacle pussy, does that include
a black one?
The way black pussy looks?
Okay, so let me speak on my preferences.
No, I want to just hear the general answer.
No.
And I'm not tying you to that ideal.
To do this, okay?
I'm not saying that's your preference. I'm just saying if there is a standard, just like with, people go, oh, every woman is a size queen. Every woman wants like a fucking big fat dick, right?
Wait a
That
minute.
is what every woman quote unquote wants. Go ahead.
Straight guy talking here.
Okay.
So.
Word, I've heard that before.
Sorry. Okay, so
go for it. So go ahead.
Let me speak with a little confidence.
Go, there you
Caucasian male confidence.
Yes,
okay, use your white voice.
The pinnacle.
Which is also in the movie.
Oh
Sorry, go ahead.
White guy talking here.
Yeah.
So, I'm a winter baby. I was born in February. But I don't really like playing in the snow. You catch cold that way, in my opinion. I've seen Malcolm X too many times. So I don't date Caucasian women. So
right.
I'm more partial to women of color.
Great.
So for you, it does include a black pussy. For you,
damn near exclusive to it.
Okay, right.
Yeah.
And that's why I didn't tie the question to your personal preference.
If there was like a crowd of guys here and y'all all had to vote on a pussy, do you think a black pussy would make top 5?
Damn,
not Beyonce's pussy.
Not Beyonce's pussy.
Like,
first of all, her shit could be toe up. Like, we don't know.
No, but you know what I mean. I just mean like from the outside, like what the assumptions would be. Like,
so we're judging off how she looks outside of it.
I feel like men do. I feel like men have an assumption.
So that's just natural attraction.
I've had dudes look at my pussy and go, "Oh, I was expecting this to be fatter or that to be this way or this to be that." Like, you know what I mean? Based off of how they saw me because I'm a big girl.
I can't call that racist. Okay.
No, but I'm not saying that's racist. I'm just saying in general, like, men make assumptions.
And also, there are guys who are, like, flat out racist that prefer black women.
Yeah.
So it's,
But is pretty pink, shaven, like, whatever, not usually...
I mean, well, it doesn't matter what race you are. Please trim the hedges at least a little bit.
Really? That's your stance on it?
I don't feel like walking through Jurassic Park.
But what if she... Okay, so this or that.
That's a preference.
Armpit hair or pubic hair? If you had to deal with one, which one are you dealing with?
I'm dealing with armpit hair.
Yeah.
You see my beard?
Some things can get tangled in there.
I earned this beard. You know what I'm saying? So no,
you would rather have a girl with armpit hair
armpits
rather than a girl who shaves her armpits but doesn't shave her pussy. Okay.
If I had to choose one, yes.
Yeah. Interesting. Okay. Awesome. Well, I understand you sort of dancing the line. You don't want to get caught in one answer, but I will say,
all right. You know what? Ask the question again, because I'll give you a definitive answer. I don't want you to feel like I'm tight roping.
No,
Shout out to Janelle Monáe.
Right, but is it not? I guess I'll just rephrase it to the yes or no. Is it not true that oftentimes when people are presented the idea of like pinnacle pussy, the like best thing you can have, that it often lends itself to lighter skinned women?
There is some colored pussy discrimination.
There is. Thank you.
Boom.
That's la luz. Esa es la luz que yo quería. ¿Está o no está? Ustedes son racistas o no son racistas. No les gusta el chocolate, nada más quieren leche.
Sí.
Yeah. Thank you. All right, Vaughn, where can we find you on social media and all that jazz?
God damn. Well, my Instagram is deleted. I don't have one.
Oh.
That really scares people.
No, I'm not scared by it. I just didn't realize.
It got boring to me. Whatever. I deleted it. Maybe I'll start another one. I'm going to work out and shit. So
but your Snapchat is active? No? Yes?
What's your Snapchat?
My Snapchat is this is Twig, TWIG. That's a nickname of mine. It's I'm slim and shit.
So this is Twig on Snapchat, and anywhere else we can find you?
Yeah, you can find me around town.
Bottle full of boob. I couldn't help myself. Can I find you in the club?
No, you can find me in St. Louis rolling on dubs.
On dubs. All right. You can find us at Ladies Who Bronche on Instagram and on Facebook, at Ladies Bronche on Twitter. Thanks so much for listening, and we'll catch you next week. But until then, Bronche.
Bronche.